Hi there. I'm Rachel Radway, a leadership coach and facilitator. And gotta say, doing videos by myself is way out of my comfort zone. But I am here because I want to tell you about a program that I'm launching next week that I am really excited about. So I'm going to drop a short video here every day this week to tell you a little bit about what I'm doing, who it's for, and how you can learn more, or even better, join me. So the program is called Grit Collaborative. Grit is an acronym for grace, resilience, intuition, and trust, core values for many of my clients and for me too. I work with bright, talented, amazing women leaders who have a trait called high sensitivity or high sensory intelligence. And in this program, we'll be focusing on managing some of the very specific challenges that come with high sensory intelligence and bringing calm and peace and order and serenity into our lives so that we can thrive. I'm going to talk more about the program, but let's talk first about high sensory intelligence and what it is, because I'm sure the first question on your mind is, what on earth is that? So I'll just talk a second about the term itself and then describe some typical characteristics of people who have it. Like I said, out of my comfort zone. So thank you for bearing with me. In the 1990s, a psychologist named Elaine Aron coined the term highly sensitive person, or HSP, to describe a group of people she'd been studying, which turns out to be at least 20% of the population. And now some people think that it may be as much as 30%. So this is people you know, it may be you, it may be friends, family, partner, colleagues. If you have ever heard the phrase, you're too sensitive, or been told that you shouldn't be reacting to something the way you are, whether it was when you were a child or as an adult, you will know that there is still, unfortunately, some stigma associated with high sensitivity and a lot of misunderstandings about what the trait involves. So I particularly like the term high sensory intelligence for a lot of reasons. This was coined by a coach in the UK named Willow McIntosh, who also works with HSP clients. A lot of studies have been done on this population, and the studies show that our brains are actually wired a little bit differently. There are different parts of the brain that light up for different things. I won't get into the science of it. I will say that the scientific term for the underlying trait is sensory processing sensitivity, which is a mouthful, so I'm not going to use it. But the point here is this is a real thing, and it's real for those of you who have it. It's real for those of you who think that maybe someone is just being a little overly sensitive. Our brains really are wired a little bit differently. High sensory intelligence can manifest in a lot of different ways. It's going to be different for every single person. It is basically a higher than usual sensitivity to external stimuli and a deeper way of processing information. Sensitivity levels are going to vary from person to person too, but in general, high sensory people may have stronger reactions to sounds. That's one of the things that I'm affected most by. Lighting, especially artificial lighting, temperature, texture, pain, and medications, both, caffeine, and also energy. So we often can feel other people's emotions and energy. You may have heard the term empath. You may be an empath. We sometimes take that energy and those emotions onto ourselves without even realizing we're doing it. And we can also get very emotional about things that people who don't have this trait may not react to. Because of this, and because we process information very deeply, high sensory people can get more overwhelmed more easily than others when we can't control aspects of our environment or when there's too much coming at us at one time. We also tend to be extremely conscientious and take on a lot, so we can overcommit ourselves, and then we don't want to disappoint people by letting anything go. So you can see where this might lead. We tend to get burned out faster and more easily than other people, and we often don't prioritize self-advocacy or self-care because we're too busy taking care of other people. This description may fit people you know, it may fit you. This may or may not be something that you already know you have, or that you already know some people that are close to you have. I am going to add some links to the comments to let you know where you can find an assessment on my website. There are some others out there as well, and some resources to learn more about this trait. One quick thing that I want to touch on before I go for today. I know that a lot of people say, well, that sounds like shyness or introversion. There is a huge amount of overlap between introversion and high sensory intelligence. Studies have shown, though, that about 30% of people who are HSPs are actually extroverted and not introverted. So what does this mean? Extroverts who are highly sensory, highly sensitive, get energized by being with other people the same way that other extroverts do, but they still need to manage their level of stimulation, and they may need more downtime or more quiet than other extroverts. While introverted HSPs, or high sensory people, recharge by being alone like other introverts do, and they may need even more peace and quiet or rest than other introverts. So again, if this resonates with you and you want to learn whether you might be a high sensory person, I will leave the link in my in the comments. It's on my website at rercoaching.com. And I will also leave a link to my calendar if you would like to have a conversation, if you'd like to learn more about this program. I would love to hear from you. And meanwhile, I will leave you for today and be back tomorrow with some more conversation. Thanks.